Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the FruityCast. This is the third episode, I believe. So I took like a week off from it because I didn't really have anything to talk about. Like I said before, I'm only really gonna do this if I have a few topics. At least 5 is what I try to do, just so I have stuff to talk about. But now that I haven't done this for a week, I found out I have more topics I want to talk about than I thought I would have. But we're just gonna kind of get right into it. Now, this episode I don't even know how long it's gonna be. I'm gonna save a part of this towards the end. I want to talk about, since this is the first episode in June, I believe, I am gonna talk about my experience because I am both pansexual and non-binary, so I will be talking about that later in the episode. But I also just want to talk about a bunch of other stuff before then, and then we'll get to it. I'll kind of save that for last. But here, but I just kind of want to talk about a bunch of new stuff that's come out, or just shit I want to talk about. What's been really going on lately is a lot of the new games that are being announced, like new trailers. We got new games being announced these last few days, or at least last week. By the time this episode will come out, because I always plan on releasing these on Saturdays. That's what my plan is. Um, so last weekend, from when this will be released, or just a couple days ago from now, we got a bunch of new games announced, a bunch of new trailers. That new Arkham game that's just gonna be VR got a trailer. Uh, don't know why they're doing it. Don't know why it's only VR. Also, apparently it's a sequel to Arkham Origins, but also it takes place in its own timeline. I have no idea. Again, they're just making a Batman game and just slapping the Arkham tag on it. We also, I mean, this wasn't even news from the showcases, the most recent showcases, but Marvel Rivals apparently has a disparagement clause. Let me try to find it. So yeah, this comes from Marvel Rivals. Apparently, there's a for the people who have been able to play it, and it's like a opening stages. There's a non-disparagement clause which says that the content creator agrees not to make any public statements or engage in discussions that are detrimental to the reputation of the game. This includes and is not limited to making disparagement or satirical comments about any game-related material such as game features, characters, or music, engaging in malicious comparisons with competitor, or belittling the gameplay or differences of Marvel Rivals, or providing subjective negative reviews of the game. And it's just really disappointing to see that, because I was really excited for Marvel Rivals, but I also didn't have very high standards with Marvel Rivals because it's going to be free to play. And when something's free to play, I'm not expecting something great out of it. I just want it to be fun. It doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 game. It just has to be something that I can just sit down and have fun with. So I wasn't really expecting much with this game, but when you have a part of a contract for people who are playing the game early, who a lot of people are going to go to get their opinions of the game, or if whether or not they want to provide their time to this game. And when you literally have something in the contract where these people that other people rely on to be honest with them in terms of should they spend their time on this game, and you say you can't say anything bad on it, it the way that I described it to some of my friends is that imagine you go to a new restaurant, and you go to a new restaurant and everyone has been saying how good the food is. Like it's a really good food. It's not the best, but it's really good. You'll have a good time there. It's really affordable. The staff's really nice. And then you get there and you sit down, you order your food, and when they give you the food, they say, "Oh, by the way, you're never allowed to say anything bad about this food." Immediately your mind's probably going to go to did you shit in this food or something? Like, what did you make this food out of? Like, what? Why is it such a big deal that I don't say anything bad about this food if it's good food? Like, it's like shooting themselves in the foot because it's like you're telling the audience that the game is bad and you don't want anyone to say that it's bad. And here's the thing, it's probably not going to be bad. There's a good chance it's not going to be, but it's not a good look for them to go out of their way of being like, you can't say anything bad about the game. It's like, how is the game bad? Like, how bad is this game then that we can't like say anything bad about it? Whatever. Just really stupid. Also some other games that got announced that I'm really excited for. I'm not gonna show all of them. There's also probably gonna be some that I'm forgetting. But starting off with this one, as someone who is myself a big Power Rangers fan, we have a Power Rangers side scroller game, very a la like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one that I still really want to play. That came out a while ago. It just looks so fun. I also believe there's like Megazord fights. I also wonder if that means we're going to be able to play as Tommy. Like, hopefully he'll be like an unlockable character or something. Also, I just look. Oh wait, hold on. I believe that's the Rita that shows up in the. It was like they did a whole special on Netflix. And I believe that's the Rita that shows up. So maybe we're gonna deal with time travel? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. This is gonna be awesome. The animation too is just so sick. Okay, I have not seen this. I'm just really hoping for like a Megazord fight. That's really what I'm hoping for. Oh my! Hold on. You get to do first person? That's sick. Rita's Rewind. Okay, so yeah, there's probably gonna be there's definitely gonna be some sort of time travel aspect to it. Yeah, I hope they do bring in like Tommy as like a guest character, but that, I mean, that's just sick. But yeah, we also have this Doom trailer, which I would have never been like a big fan of Doom, but I have watched this one already, and this is probably gonna make me a fan of Doom. Like, I have never played a Doom game, but I definitely want to play this one, and we're just gonna check it out. And like I said, I have never been a big Doom fan. This makes me a Doom fan, I'm gonna be honest. It just looks so fucking cool. Oh my god. Like, just the shoulder pads, the helmet, also like the spiky shield. I just love this. Like, I never thought I would become a fan of Doom just by making the Doom guy a knight. But just like the gameplay is super cool too. Just blowing chunk. Oh. Also, you get to use apparently you get to use the skulls of demons as a like sort of ammunition for this gun. That's just like it just like spreads throughout. Like, it chews through the skulls and shoots out their shards. That's so fucking. Oh my god. Also, like, just this shield. I just want to be in the room for the person who decided that they need to make a Captain America like shield that is essentially a chainsaw. And just so I can just like give them all my money. Like, this just looks so fucking cool. Also, I'm a sucker for giant mechs. You give me a giant mech fight, I'll do it. Just like this. And you get to fight giant monsters. And you get to tame a dragon too. It feels like they made a Doom game specifically for me just to get into it. Like, this is everything I could ever want. Like, you get to ride dragons, you get to you get to pilot giant mechs, you get a chainsaw shield. Oh my god. Yeah, I want this. I want this bad. I want it in my veins. There's also going to be that remake for Metal Gear Solid, which this also is another one that I am personally a big fan. Like, I really want this. this is definitely going to be a game I grab, despite the fact that I might suck at it because I am just terrible at stealth games. If I do end up getting this game, I should have like somewhere in the corner, there's just like a death counter, because I swear, I promise you, if this game does require as much stealth as they're making it out to be in this trailer, I'm going to fail multiple times. Also, just going and getting to go full Rambo in this game, yeah, I'm definitely getting it. So fun. Also, like this chase sequence, absolutely. Again, I'll probably fail multiple times at it, but I'm definitely excited to play. Speaking of video games, a video game I always kind of like have a I have a couple going all at the same time, but I always kind of play like, a few Pokemon games all at the same time, mostly just in a way, but mostly it's just kind of like busy, not busy work. It's just stuff to do in my free time. Like when I edit like this, like these podcast episodes, these like two that I've done, and with my gameplay channel, and with my gameplay videos over on my gaming channel, which you should go check out. I just kind of like just let those play out and just kind of listen to the audio for the most part, because like they're very like easy. It's very little editing I have to do. Like even with this, like I'll probably like edit a few things, just like if there's a long sort of silence, or if I just keep messing up my words, I'll just like cut bits out. But even then, I just kind of like keep it as it is. But when I do that, I do play like a Pokemon game in the background and just listen for the audio. And one that I've been playing recently is Brilliant Diamond. And I'm gonna be honest, I am not a fan of the Grand Underground. I really feel like they should have just done it the way that they did with Platinum. Maybe better in terms of Pokemon you can get. Now, I do feel like the Grand Underground is great in certain aspects because you can get a couple hard to get Pokemon even in Platinum in the game early on. But I am just not a fan of how they did it. Also, I was a bit of a dummy because you get it in Eterna City, which is the second one. Like you get access to the Grand Underground in Eterna City, which is where the second gym leader is. But you can get it before before the second gym leader, because if you get it afterwards, the levels increase for the Pokemon that are down there. And I completely forgot about that. So when I got it after the gym, the Pokemon were just like really high. So it was like, in my Pokemon, they were like very late 20s in terms of level. My Pokemon were like mid to early 20s. So it was really hard to get them, but I did, and I got like three. One of them was Krogunk. He was really easy to get. The other was a Shining Gastrodon that I got on accident. And by the way, the Grand Underground doesn't have shiny overworld sprites, which I think is so dumb. But because like shiny hunting is already pretty hard to fucking do. Anyways, and I don't even shiny hunt, and I know that. But like, I just got it completely on accident just by running into one, even though I was trying to avoid it. And the third one, the most difficult one, not just in terms of finding it, but in terms of catching it, was a Togepi. And luckily, I got one on the first one I was able to catch, because it took me 3 attempts just to catch one of them. On the third attempt, I was able to find one with a great nature and a great ability. Because if you find a wild Togepi, there's a chance that it would either have Serene Grace, or I forget what the other one is. I think it's Hustle. And Hustle, it boosts your attack, but it makes moves harder to hit. Like it lowers their accuracy, which is just annoying. And there's also Serene Grace, which makes it easier for additional effects with certain moves to like be activated. So like if your move has a 20% chance to flinch, now it has, I think it's like 1.5 times, so I think it's 30, maybe it's 40, I'm not sure. But it increases the odds of that, which is great because there's no like side effects of that. Like no downsides. It's not like it decreases your attack or whatever. So I was lucky that I was able to get that. Also, it's special attack boosting, like the nature. So which is great because Togekiss is more special attack focused. But yeah, I'm so fucking happy I finally was able to get one, even though I spent hours trying to get it. Like when I was playing it, I wasn't editing videos. I was watching a movie. I was watching a. I've been kind of going on a Planet of the Apes movie marathon. Not all of them, just the new ones. But I was watching the second one, which I believe is Dawn. I don't think it's Rise. I thought it was Rise originally, but it was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The one where like it's the second one. Who's that guy? He plays Jim Gordon. Um, fuck, what's his name? Not the new one, not the new James Gordon. Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is kind of like the human villain of the movie, which is I really enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed the first one too, even though I have not watched it. The only Planet of the Apes movie I've watched is the second one. So I've not seen the third one. I've not seen I've now seen the first one, but I didn't beforehand, and I haven't seen the new one yet. But I think it's already out on streaming, so I should be able to watch it. I'll probably watch that one, like the third one and the fourth one this weekend, maybe. I mean, unless I'm already gonna start on my next video in terms of because I'm almost done with the script of the video essay that I want to do about like the Transformers movies. I'm almost done with the script, so I'll probably finish that up. And once I finish up the script for a video, I always just try to focus on like watching the material for the next one. So it'll probably be a while till I get back to my marathon, or maybe I'll just push the other one back. Switching gears a little bit, just some stuff that I want to talk about in general. I watched Jay Aubrey's Kick video, his video about like certain streamers that show up on Kick. Dude, it is a tough watch. I will say that. I love Jay Aubrey. His videos are amazing. Um, and he talks about, and it's not like his videos are very lighthearted. He talks about like a lot of disgusting people, and it was legitimately hard to sit through this one. The fact that Kick allows some of these guys just to like just be on their platform is insane. Especially because like with Kick, they're ran by a like online crypto gambling site. So you think the only reason they would allow these guys to stay on there is because they like gamble? I don't even think any of these guys gamble and they're still on there. Like it's insane. Like they do disgusting shit. Shit that would like get you banned off of any other platform in the world, rightfully so. And it's still like disgusting. Like it's very rare like for me to like sit through a video of like shit that's similar to that topic matter. Like I don't know. I what I'm trying to like say is like it takes a lot for me to like pause a video just so I can give my time get my like brain enough like I don't know. There's just a lot of disturbing shit in there that it's just like it literally made me like have to pause the video and be like I need to like watch or listen to something else to kind of like because it's just so disgusting. Like you need a palate cleanser like halfway into it. Of just being like, I just need to and it only gets worse by the way. Like the first guy he brings up is like the shit that he does is still just like disgusting, but it is nothing compared to like every other guy following him. Like it's like different levels. Like you start at level 1 and level 1 is already pretty hard, but you get to level 2 and it's a little bit worse. Then you get to level 3 and it's still worse. And it gets way worse. Then you get to level 4 and then level 5 is just fucking hell. Like it's a tough watch. I definitely would recommend it, but I feel like at some point you would have to like tap out. And if you like can't find yourself to listen to a lot of like disturbing stuff, then obviously don't check it out. Cause like if you it's just it's absolutely fucking disgusting. Um Also speaking of disgusting, Drake and J. Cole's new songs. What the fuck? First of all, I mean, And I've like seen from certain people, like people try to be like, "Oh, Drake's new song, that's like no one is literally defending J. Cole's song, which I think is hilarious. But there are literally people who are who tried to defend the Drake song, being like, "No, it wasn't him, it was just AI." And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, I'll probably won't be able to show this like have this play out on YouTube, but I'll show you guys, like have you guys listen to it. That's how it starts, by the way. Like, what the fuck? Wow, 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 wow.
Walk on the Lilo, sit like in Toronto City. I'm 2,000 kilometers away, but girl, tonight you look so bad.
Also, the funny aspect of this is, I should bring it up. The plain white tees, which is where like the melody of this comes from. Like, it's based on their song "Hey There, Delilah."
Really nice large dress.
They had a reaction TikTok, and they thought it was AI, but it's not. I promise you that. Here's the thing. The reason why a lot of people thought this was AI, I'm pretty sure, first of all, it's those vocals, like they sound very auto-tune. But second of all, it's because this got uploaded to SoundCloud, and I think that's why some people thought of it, because I'm pretty sure SoundCloud doesn't have like as strict as Spotify does when it comes to like this sort of stuff. Like, but I don't know. I feel like when you have someone like Drake, you would need to verify this. Like, if you're gonna put Drake's name on this. But no, this is definitely him. He shared it on his I believe it was his Instagram story. But it's just well, I'll try to get to his part. Like, someone needs to tell that guy to put his auto tune down, for the love of God. Like, no wonder people thought this was AI.
Walk on Delilah, no, I'm late cause there's bad traffic. I just showed my dog your Grammy, said he knows a man that slapped it. I'm so cheesed.
I'm so cheesed. Now, apparently this is filled with like Toronto references and like slang from Toronto. But like, you need to sacrifice some of that because it just makes everything sound so ridiculous. I'm so cheesed. What the fuck?
Your mademoiselle nights are geeked. I'm bent low key. Walk on Delilah, double date me if you like me. Brought my chronom for your bestie. Sorry, he's wearing a shicey.
It's ass, man. And here's the plain white tees reaction to it. No, it is.
Crazy that everybody thinks that it's real. Yeah, like, but it's cool.
Oh my god. But nope, it's real. It is unfortunately real. Dude, I was listening to the TMG podcast, and I think they said that what if fucking as a part of that whole contract of like Kendrick and Drake ending the beef, Kendrick put in a clause which is like, all right, I'll sign this contract, but you have to put out one of the worst songs of all time. Also, there's J. Cole's new song, which we're not gonna listen to because I refuse to put anyone through that. But we will. Actually, we might as well play it.
She like my kick game, and when you meet on kick game, I put her front row to Nick game. Now she in my phone with a nickname. It's Grippy.
Who allowed this man to not cook but burn the song? It's just you like my kick game, and when you meet you don't kick game. I put her front row at a Knicks game. Now she in my phone with the nickname. It's Grippy. Yeah, Grippy. I call her that because it's Grippy. Yeah, no shit. Thanks for spelling it out for us, bud. She thick in the hips, she a hippie. She thick in the lips, she gonna lick me. She gonna send, she sent in a flick when she hit me. With a kissy emoji, she miss me. When she see me, she say she gonna strip me. She gonna chew on this dick like it's Wrigley's. Oh. Yeah, believe it or not, like Ripley's. She said she was gay until I slayed. Now she's strictly dickly. Oh no. Lock this man up. You know how he pulled that diss on Kendrick like very fast afterwards. Like he put it out and then immediately took it down and then started apologizing. He should have done that for this. Like this song should not be available anywhere. Like he should have put it out for like a second and then immediately pulled it. Like what the fuck? Like I would be more embarrassed by this than the Kendrick diss. Uh, what the fuck? This is just terrible. But moving on to some good shit. Here we have Will Smith revealing to a packed theater that he was watching Bad Boys Ride or Die with them the entire time. A movie I have not seen yet, but I definitely want to. But yeah, this was just cool. So yeah, there he is right there. I mean, this is really cool. Also, like him doing it outside of the theater, because like I could imagine someone like I don't know, like someone like going into the front of the theater and be like, "Hey, it's me." I would be like pretty psyched up because it's Will Smith, but also it's just like, dude, I'm trying to watch this movie right now. Like this would be so, just the way he did this is really cool. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's no point to really like playing it all out. But yeah, everyone just gathers around. Like this would be so cool to see. But this it's just been really cool seeing like the Will Smith redemption. There's also another clip I should have brought up when it comes to this. Because like that's really cool in like a publicity way. Um but there was a clip, like a BTS clip that was shown um during this like new movie during like an action scene, and it was just so cool. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. It had to deal with like an action scene, and the whole part of it was like he was acting in the scene, but also directing his camera at the same time. Oh, here we go. Okay, oh, so he showed it on Instagram, but yeah, this is BTS footage from the new film. So he's operating. If you see here, he's like, not only is he like acting in this action scene, he's also the person directing the camera. I mean, he is being directed on like what to do with it, but he's still the one in control of it. It's just so cool. Look at this. Get the close up of him, and then it goes to like this first person. Like that's just sick. But yeah, it's nice seeing how nobody gives a fuck about the whole Chris Rock thing, because that was just kind of stupid. Let's be honest with ourselves. Like, I'm not, I don't think he should have like gone up there and slapped him in front of everyone, but I feel like people made that way too big of a deal as it was. Like, I remember when that came out, like when that happened. And my first thoughts of it was just like, well, this is insane. But, everyone will probably forget about it in like a few weeks. And then like he got banned from going to the Oscars, I believe. Um, they said they would never let him back, which was just insane. Amy Schumer had that tweet being like, "Oh, it was so like traumatizing." Like, shut up, Amy Schumer. Chris Rock. I understand him being mad at it, but he had like an entire comedy special where he was just basically shouting about it, and it was just like, I just would have like, I wouldn't really talk about it in front of like a large group of people at a comedy special until you've like given it enough time to really process. I get understand getting mad about it, but like when you watch that comedy special, like it's not, he doesn't even make jokes. He's just yelling for the most part, and it's just like I just wanted to laugh. Like if he would have made jokes about it, then like great, but you could just tell he was just really angry, so he didn't care about making jokes for it. Um, but yeah, but at the end of the day, like nobody really gives a shit anymore. Like I've seen a bunch of people like talk about it in terms of like, it's great to see Will Smith back at the top. I remember because I like Will Smith, I feel like is pretty loved, at least compared to Chris Rock. I don't know, but yeah, that's all I really want to talk about because I love Will Smith as an actor, one of my favorite actors. He's definitely started a lot of bad shit, but I still love that shit just because he's in it. There's also the new Venom trailer. I don't think I will be able to show this on YouTube, so we're just gonna. I'll play it and then I'll just like talk about it afterwards.
We are.
I'm gonna be honest. I think this is the only part of the trailer I don't like. Is the I feel like this joke is just kind of forced, but I don't know. Overall, I did like this trailer. Okay, now here's the thing that confuses me. So this is obviously in reference to the No Way Home scene, because I think this is the same guy. He leaves it at the bar unintentionally. But the whole point is that he was in the MCU universe. Are they so like? Okay, it's so dumb. Because here's the thing, I have a feeling this means nothing. This scene's probably not gonna show up. They're gonna do what they did with like Morbius, where it's just like, oh, we're teasing, a Spider-Man. We're teasing that. We're teasing an MCU connection, and it's just never really gonna happen. It's just gonna go nowhere. Because like, either he never multiverse hopped, or the army in his universe can. Like, what is this? Also, Mrs. Chen is back, and she's dressed like like the fairy godmother from Shrek 2.
Mrs. Chen.
And there's a dance sequence too, which I love. I made a joke with one of my friends that the reason they even like the reason that this is even in the movie is because they called it The Last Dance, and they were just like, well, obviously we had to add a dance sequence now. We can't call it The Last Dance and not have a dance sequence. Also, apparently the guy who plays the lizard is in this movie. Him right here. I feel like that's just gonna be like a cameo sequence. I don't think he's gonna play a big part. Also, apparently this is what the symbiotes are going to look like. They're gonna look like crab monsters. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they're only really doing that as a way to be like differentiate themselves from Venom. Or maybe it's just like alien creatures they took over. That was my favorite part of the trailer. Venom horse. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I think that's all I really wanted to talk about outside of the, other stuff the stuff I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I was gonna save the rest of this episode about talking about my experience about, being pansexual and non-binary, which I feel like is definitely an odd thing to now talk about after I just talked about a bunch of like nerdy shit. But it's the first episode of the podcast after, well, not after, during Pride Month. So I figured I might as well talk about my experience. I probably won't talk about it that much, I'm gonna be honest, because most of it is pretty, I would say, standard. But my experience, like kind of coming out, or like at least realizing that's what I identified as. That's what I like or at least like realizing my sexuality. So I'll start with being pansexual first because I feel like that's the easiest. So there's a joke that a lot of like straight guys like to do, and where they're just like, oh, I'm not gay, but I would definitely like, it's like every straight man having a crush on Ryan Reynolds, that sort of thing. And it wasn't until I got older where I was like, I think I'm just bi. That's where I started off with, at least. At first, I was just like, I just think that I'm bi. Like, I do find guys attractive in that sort of way. And I started experimenting, and I just kind of found that, yeah, I was like, yeah, I think this is just how I feel now. But it wasn't until I started like looking more into it that I kind of realized I'm just more pan than anything. Because it was just like I don't really care all that much in terms of like someone's gender identity when it comes to that. So I think that's overall what brought me to identifying as pan. So that's just kind of like the easy part. But with the non-binary part, it's definitely a lot harder to bring down because it's more just like I still use he him pronouns. I don't really care all that much if some people, still refer to me as a man because look at me. I got the full-on beard, shit like that. I'm built like a dude. But at the same time, I think why I identify as non-binary is very much in the sort of like I I don't exactly refer to myself as like a masculine person at all. And that's always something I kind of struggled with. It's very much like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Like I never really identified that much with I definitely have masculine traits. Don't get me wrong. At least like in that sort of like I definitely portrayed those. But it's not something that I completely identify as. And I've had this like conversation with a close friend before when I was talking to them because they don't really understand. And I was just like, yeah, I just don't really feel that way. Like, I even asked them, I was like, when you look at me, do you really like see my, like, when you really look at me in terms of like my personality, would you really say that I'm that much of a man in terms of like how you would imagine a typical man? And they were just like, no, not really. Like, I was like, that's the whole point. Like, I just don't feel that way. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't really like feel like putting myself in one specific hole in terms of like uh how society is supposed to view me or some shit like that. I don't know, it's really difficult to say because it's still something that I'm going through in terms of finding my identity. I do feel very confident in identifying myself in this way, both in my sexuality and my gender identity. But it's definitely something that's really hard to talk about when it comes to down to being like I don't know how to accurately describe it. Like it's just like a feeling of being like, yeah, I don't really feel like being put in this role that society wants me to fill when I don't really feel that way at all. When I don't feel comfortable trying to portray that. So that's ultimately what came down to me just being like, I'm just gonna identify well as like identifying myself as a non-binary person, just being like, yeah, this is just how I feel. Like I don't really feel comfortable being like described as a man, even though again, like I definitely have masculine traits to me, but I definitely feel more comfortable in like femininity, but I don't really like identify as a woman by any chance. So I feel like being non-binary was a very good middle ground, being like finding equal balance between those both sides. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. I feel like at the start of this I made it like a big deal, like I was gonna talk about it, but again, it's just I don't honestly know if I feel that confident describing it, and maybe so. I feel like I don't know. I feel like my definition is gonna come off pretty confusing, but hopefully as time goes on, I can find like be more comfortable describing it because again, I feel confident in it, but I don't. I feel like I don't know. Maybe like some of you feel the same way. It's very hard to describe it to some people. Like I try to describe it to some other friends, and they're just like, "I don't really follow you," and I was just like, "Yeah, that's the thing. It's just how I feel. Like it's hard to describe sometimes, just because like there's really no other explanation other than I just feel happy identifying this way." But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I'll see you guys in the next one. Maybe again, just depends on how much I really have planned for next week in terms of what I want to talk about. But yeah, I will see y'all next time.